The COVID relief law is massive with far-reaching impact. It includes debt relief for America's black farmers, long denied government funding. Lisa Desjardins reports.
Judy, the new law allocates $5 billion for farmers of color. Most of that aims to erase their debt by paying 120% of their federally backed farm loans. The USDA tells NewsHour that that would help some 14,000 farmers, providing $175,000 in relief on average. The struggles of black farmers have been particularly acute. John Boyd is a farmer in Southwest Virginia, and himself, he is also the head of the National Black Farmers Association. Let's start right away. How would this money help black farmers?
Well, it's going to give them a jump start in their farming operation. And first and foremost, this measure is historic in nature, provides $5 billion, $4 billion for debt relief and other incentives, and $1 billion for outreach and to set up a commission and really look at the issues of discrimination at the United States Department of Agriculture, something I was trying to do for about 30 years. So this is a huge step in the right direction, especially for Congress and for the Ag Department.
You are a fourth-generation farmer. You're talking about historic discrimination from the U.S. Department of Agriculture in particular. We're talking about loans denied, loans underfunded. Can you take us through how that actually worked for individual farmers like you? What did you experience?
Well, basically, many black farmers experience blatant discrimination at the United States Department of Agriculture. And I, as a farmer, had my loan application torn and tossed in the trash can. I've been spat on by the person responsible for making farm loans in my county here in Mecklenburg County, Virginia. So discrimination was very, very pervasive, where many black farmers was just flat out denied an application. And they would come into the office and the local official would say, we don't have any money available. And when white farmers came in, they would process their loans less than 30 days. And for black farmers, it took 387 days on average to process our loans.
I have to circle back. You were spat at by a federal official?
Yes, chewing tobacco. He's chewing tobacco juice. He spat on my shirt. And when they came out, the USDA civil rights person investigated him. They asked him, did you spat on Mr. Boyd's shirt? He said, well, yes, he accidentally missed his spat can. They asked him, did he have problems making loans to black farmers, that he only made 2 that particular year? And he said, well, yes, I think they're lazy and look for a paycheck on Friday. That's the type of discriminatory demeanor that prevented black farmers from prospering in this country when we were denied for access of credit based on its race. So he would only see black farmers on Wednesday. So we named it Black Wednesday in our county. All of our letters had 9 a.m. Wednesday, so-and-so. And he would speak loudly and boastfully and downward towards elderly black farmers, calling them boy. So these people were preachers and deacons and leaders in their community, and this county supervisor was referring to him as a boy, and how he wasn't going to lend us any of his money. And if you quote me right, I believe it's the government's taxpayers' money, not his money. So that's the type of discrimination we were facing, and not just in my county, but this was a national epidemic, and I would like to call it a national disgrace, an embarrassment for our country that we live in.
You know, the statistics are just really hard to grasp. Black farmers in this country from 1910 to 1997 lost 90% of their acreage. I wonder, do you think this money will actually reverse the problem, meaning will it expand the number of farmers of color, or does this money just sort of kind of stem the tide and stop things from getting worse?
Well, I'm hopeful that we will have some time to regroup. So if a farmer can have his debt removed or forgiven, that gives that farmer a little bit of time to look at his farming operation, revamp, regroup, and it also gives us an opportunity to stop some of the foreclosures that have been happening against black farmers. So we'll be able to keep more black farmers on the farm and also give them the opportunity to rebuild their farming operation. And that's what I've been after the whole time with my advocacy work.
What do you say to white farmers who see this as reverse discrimination and they say they're struggling also?
And I could hear somebody saying that. And, but $29 billion that went out under the previous administration, the Trump administration, black farmers and farmers of color virtually absent. Billions and billions of dollars in loans and subsidies and debt forgiveness. Black farmers have been left out of the equation for decades. What do you call that is my question to them. And why, when they hear about this discrimination, why didn't some of those farmers speak out and say, you know what, we do need to treat black farmers with dignity and respect? That's my question. And I'm not against them receiving the loans when the act of Mother Nature shows her beautiful face and floods and all of these things. We want the same thing. And if you were treating black farmers fairly and equally, we wouldn't need a special bill here in the year 2021.
John Boyd, soybean farmer and president of the National Black Farmers Association, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.